You know, it's Saturday morning, and I try to get a video out every Saturday morning, but I'm away. I'm up in Yountville and Napa. We got invited up here. But while I'm here, I'm definitely looking at the trees. This big, beautiful valley oak, Quercus lobata, has these supports underneath it. This is right in the middle of town. But you know, we're staying in a nice resort, and I can't help but wonder about water conservation. And the thing that got me going was this shower. I took a shower in this room that we're in, and it's all or nothing. You turn the shower on to get a warm or a hot water, and it's full blast. There's no control. And that's throughout the entire resort. Every single room has this water problem. And when I look around, this area of Napa and Yountville seems to be rather lush. There's a lot of trees, there's a lot of vineyards, there's a lot of greenery around. But you go just outside the area and it's not so green, it's not so lush. So I do recognize that there is a huge amount of water being contributed to the growing of the vines. And that's what this area is famous for. You know, I have to admit, I enjoy a nice bottle of wine, and we were invited up by some friends to this area. And, you know, my wife and I are having a very nice weekend, but I'm still forever looking at the trees. We did go to a nice little wine tasting, and it was interesting. It was a pairing of wine and potato chips. And on the way, I saw this. Oh, this was amazing. I saw this absolutely incredible eucalyptus tree with this massive big burl on the base of it. It was growing on the highway. And this was kind of cool. It was in downtown Yountville, and there was a bunch of sculptures there, and there was this mushroom grove. We also got out and did a pairing of chocolate and port in the evening. That was very interesting. So this is not me, this is me. I'm the gardener. I'm the guy that gets down to earth. And I wanted to share this with you because I've got a friend just down the road from me who has 40 acres of property, and he has a well. He has adequate water, and we are putting in a good garden together. My friend Toby has got some good toys, you know, nice tractor, some things to build. So this is a project that we've been working on for the last few months. And I wanted to share this with you because a lot of you may not realize, but I'm a pretty avid vegetable gardener. I always have been. As a matter of fact, my very first YouTube channel was called The Vegetable Gardener with an ER. If you want to find me, that's what you can look at. So this is kind of a progression over the last couple of months of how our garden is doing. You know, this was about 2 weeks after we planted it. A lot of little things are coming up. Some things weren't doing so good. Some things were doing better than others. Some of the plants that we put in, it was just too hot. You know, the carrots are starting to come up. We got beans in here. We did put in a bunch of hot weather things like the zucchini and the tomatoes and the corn. A couple weeks later, things are starting to come into bloom. That was our very first piece of vegetable, the zucchini that we got. Enough. And this is what it looked like a week ago. I'm really, really proud of this. The corn now, in just 2 months' time, is about 6 feet high. We've got carrots that are growing. Carrots take a long time, so you have to be patient with those. But the green beans, and look at the tomatoes over there. They're filling out. I also wanted to talk a little bit about saving seeds. Now, this is something I talk about a lot in the original YouTube videos called The Vegetable Gardener. And every season I like to leave some of my vegetables go to seed. This is kale. And up at my house, I like to grow kale. And this is a specific type of kale. I don't even know what it's called, but it's one of my favorites. It's not the curly kale, but it's a really good salad kale, and I eat it all the time. But I always let some of it go to seed. Now, to process the seeds on kale is kind of interesting because these seed pods dry out, and then when it gets hot, they pop open and all the seeds go flying. So if you want to harvest the seeds, timing is really important. You have to pick the plant, cut the plant before all these little pods break open. But they've got to be dry enough so that when you crush them with your hands, that the seeds fall out. And, you know, it's not that kale seeds are really that expensive, but if you have a lot of seeds you can plant a lot of the vegetable that you like to eat. Like one of my favorite lettuces is, so crush up the seed, pot all the seeds into a big tray, but it's butter lettuce, that's what lettuce. And if you let them go to seed, you can scatter seeds within the garden. It's kind of like guerrilla gardening. But here I'm doing the seeds for the kale that I like. And you can see you separate out the seeds from the chaff. And the chaff is the stuff that you either blow away. And in ancient times when they separated the seeds from the chaff, they would throw the whole bunch up in the air and let the wind blow away the chaff, and the seeds would fall back down into their baskets. Here's a simplified way of doing it. I'm creating a little bit of my own wind here by blowing them off. If you've never saved your own seeds, it's really fun. And because these seeds, I've been saving them for years and years and years. And every year, I always have a few plants that go to seed. I let them go to seed. And look at that. There's so much there. And I just replant them. Not to mention all the seeds that fall down and grow on their own. So I'm talking about vegetable gardening. And I also want to talk a little bit about what I call dirt therapy. Get your hands dirty, get in the dirt, work the dirt, feel the earth. It is so therapeutic. I find so much pleasure in working with my hands and making things grow. And a lot of people just are disconnected with the earth. You should think about reconnecting to the earth and grow at least some of your own food. And if you don't have room, grow food in pots. You can do it. And it is so rewarding and it is so nutritious. And the flavors are so much better. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you watching.